All right, we are just right now hearing from President Donald Trump about the death of Iran's supreme leader. Want to read you some of what he posted on Truth Social just moments ago. It says, quote, Khamenei, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. This is not only justice for the people of Iran, but for all great Americans and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed or mutilated by Khamenei and his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. It is a long Truth Social message. We don't have the entire thing to show you right now, but I want to bring in Courtney Keeley, Middle East reporter, to weigh in on this. There's a part of this, Courtney, where it says the heavy and pinpoint bombing, however, will continue uninterrupted throughout the week or as long as necessary to achieve our objective of peace throughout the Middle East and indeed the world. What do you take away from that when it comes to now the scope and size of this operation going forward?
And that's what just happened. I'm speaking to a friend whose parents are in Tehran, and she can't reach them. And they're 80 and 90, respectively. And she's scared, and she's sick to her stomach, and she's saying what's going to happen next after these next few days. Will the regime retaliate? We don't know. We can only see a blackout. So I've been reporting on the celebrations, the fireworks post-midnight, people taking to the streets. We have not heard via Starlink or the VPNs of any retaliation, but will that come? We've seen it hit the Gulf, but what she's worried about it hitting the ordinary Iranians, hitting her family in Tehran. And that's what people are worried right now, but simultaneously saying it's a beautiful day. And what President Trump is saying about all of these assassinations and people that lost loved ones because of this evil regime, he's not wrong. Yeah, I mean, one person I spoke to is talking about her, never lost faith that her assassinated brother, who was one of those people hanged in the early 80s, would somehow they would see the end of this Islamic regime. She's having a good day, but people are sick and worried, and the UN Supreme Council is saying cease the hostilities.
Complicated and nuanced for sure. I do believe we have some new video to share with our viewers about those celebrations inside Iran that you've been telling us about for the last 2 hours or so. Can we play that video, please? So walk us through what you've been hearing on the ground, Courtney, as well as we're now looking at this video for the first time. Of course, CBS News confirming that this is inside Iran. Reaction to Khamenei's death today.
Right, so I've been seeing reactions from Shiraz. You can hear people screaming in jubilation. That's not screams, that's screams of joy.
Right.
Now, people were even defiant during the celebration of the 1979 revolution just a few weeks ago when they were hearing God is great. They were saying death to Khamenei. And now they're reacting to the death of Khamenei. And they're reacting with joy. They're reacting with fireworks. Nobody is shy.
Let's listen, if we can, to part of it. Is there any audio on this clip? Okay, we're going to go back to that last clip just to see if we can actually hear a bit more of what people are saying there on the ground. Let's listen. So, Court, obviously hard to distinguish actual words and language this hour, but clearly those are screams of joy.
Right, you're hearing whistles, clapping, screams in jubilation, not in pain. And this is happening not just in Tehran, but in other major cities and across the country. We've seen videos of that despite there being a blackout, like I said, for loved ones trying to reach their families back at home.
Okay, also want to ask you about another thread from this Truth Social post that we just saw from the president. There is a part where he says, we're hearing that many of the IRGC military and other security and police forces no longer want to fight and are looking for immunity from us. It goes on to say, as I said last night, now they can have immunity. Later, they only get death. Hopefully, the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the greatness it deserves. That process should soon be starting, and that not only the death of Khamenei, but the country has been in only one day very much destroyed, even obliterated, end quote. So a couple of things here, but This idea that the IRGC and police will now peacefully merge with civilians, is that possible?
That's the million-dollar question, or the billion-dollar question. And I can tell you that in June, the Israeli strikes before the U.S. strike on Natanz and Fordo and Isfahan took out the top leadership of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Then they were replaced. Now the top commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that was appointed after June is now dead. I'm seeing that, like, the tens of leadership dead. It's not just a Khamenei. It's not just one of his top advisors. It's also people that were heads of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and the army.
Right.
And the important thing about this is, after June, we never saw fractionalization or fissures between the armed forces, between the Iranian Revolutionary Guard or the Basij. They didn't take off their uniforms or take off their, or just slip off into the night like they did in Syria when Assad fell, like some of the Iraqi soldiers did when they just said, I'm done. And but you are seeing with the top leadership, there's a level of corruption that many would say was obscene, with the money that they were making off the backs of Iranians and being billionaires. Some of these people in June that came in are like the managers of the factory, as opposed to the top guys up in the executive offices.
Okay.
And they're like, are they gonna, who they haven't made any money, they've been under this oppression, or do they still believe in the cause?
Right.
Will they, and the ordinary rank and file, say, we're done here? Or will they go off and form some kind of opposition group, militarized, that could be very dangerous?
Okay. Lots to follow here. Courtney, thank you.